Have you ever shopped at Kroger? I would wager that there isn't a single person in this class that hasn't shopped at Kroger at least once, whether it's for weekly groceries, a midweek stop for a gallon of milk, or for your Starbucks caffeine fix. Now, do you ever wonder how much waste these stores generate? Or do you consider how much fuel they consume to make deliveries? And have you ever wondered what happens to all the food that doesn't get purchased by us? My goal in this presentation is to share with you the various things that Kroger is doing to make our environment a place that our children and grandchildren will be able to comfortably live in. Let me start by giving you a very brief background of Kroger. The company was founded in 1883 by a single man who spent his entire life savings of a little over $300 to open a tiny grocery shop. Yes, you heard me right, $300. The company has since grown into over 2,400 stores in 31 states with approximately 343,000 employees. Sales last year were over $96 billion, having grown every single year since at least 1990 by around 5%. Kroger prides itself as being a leader in innovation. They were the first store to have an in-store bakery and an in-store meat counter. And in the 70s, they were the first store to introduce electronic price scanning at the checkout counter. Aren't you glad for that innovation? But an even bigger focus for this corporation is the environmental impact that it has. There are three main initiatives that remain the top priority for Kroger's environmental focus, though they do contribute to the well-being of our environment in many other areas as well. The first priority for Kroger's environmental program is called Zero Waste. This is actually based on an EPA designation, which states that 90% or more of waste should find a home that is not in a landfill or an incineration unit. Now, Kroger accomplishes this in a few ways. First, food waste. It's kept to a minimum by only ordering and producing what can be sold to customers. And then perishable food that isn't sold, yet it's still safe and nutritious to eat, is sent to community shelters and food banks. Kroger was the first organization to implement this solution for perishable foods. And in 2012 alone, Kroger sent 71 million pounds of food to the local food banks. If this program doesn't exist in any community, then that food can also be sent to feed hog livestock. Some food waste can also be made into biogas and then into fuel for electricity. And then perishable food and flowers that can't be donated can sometimes be made into compost material to treat soil. Secondly, reusable plastic shipping containers are now also used in the stores. Remember those produce crates that were really just cardboard boxes that the workers unpacked? Now you will find plastic crates instead that are reused instead of discarded. And then finally, tons of cardboard and paper waste is recycled by the Kroger stores rather than being trashed. A second priority for Kroger is its environmental sustainability program to lower its carbon footprint, or in other words, the mark that the company leaves on our environment. Now, several energy-saving features have been installed in Kroger stores across the country. Some of the ones that you won't notice are anti-sweat heat controllers for those refrigeration units, more efficient refrigeration systems that require less coolant, which is in turn better for our environment because of low emissions, better building temperature controllers. But how about the energy-saving ideas that you do see, like motion-sensored lights in the freezer section that turn on only when you approach, or LED lighting throughout the store? New ways of energy savings are always being explored at Kroger. For instance, a large dairy farm owned by Kroger in Pennsylvania gets 25% of its electricity from the nearby wind farm. And now solar power systems are being installed at some stores on the roofs, and they get 10% of their power needs from their own rooftop. And one distribution center in California is using a process to transform tons of food waste every single day into renewable biogas that's turned into power for their own facility, enough to provide 20% of its power needs. The third main environmental focus for Kroger has been its logistics efficiency. What this really means is using the tractors and trailers that Kroger uses in the most efficient means possible. Approximately 5,400 deliveries are made across the country every single day. Now, that's a lot of cargo and a lot of fuel consumed. With the rising cost of fuel, it would seem obvious why Kroger would want to make the fleet more efficient, but it's also about emissions levels and on-time deliveries. Truck designs have been updated to make them more aerodynamic, and automatic tire inflation systems have also been installed to make the trucks consume less fuel. Energy is measured in the number of cases shipped per gallon of fuel used. Basically, the more the cases shipped in a truck in each load, and the fewer empty trucks traveling on the road, then the more efficient Kroger's fleet is becoming. Fleet efficiency has improved by 33% since 2008, and goals are to reach 40% improvement by 2014. In addition to the three main focus areas that I've just mentioned, zero waste, a reduced carbon footprint, and efficient logistics, Kroger continues to find other ways to help the environment in many ways. One example is a program to dispose of outdated or unused prescription pills from the pharmacies. And then many of the stores have also included ways for customers to bring their own pills for disposal as well. Kroger teamed up with other pharmacies to develop this program, and it basically is a process to mail all unused or outdated pills to an incineration plant for burning. Now, this keeps those potentially toxic medications out of our water sources and landfills. Have you ever flushed expired pills down the toilet? I have. Well, Kroger has a program so that you don't have to do that anymore. And the best of all of the ashes from the incineration are used to make an additive that makes cement. Another initiative is the recycling program that Kroger sponsors for its very own customers. Now, this goes way beyond just recycling its own trash of cardboard and paper. This gives all of its customers an easy way to drop off all items that are recyclable. Containers are easily spotted for drop-off of all used plastic grocery sacks. And in addition, many stores have drop-offs for aluminum, paper, glass, and other plastics as well. Look for these drop-off bins at your local Kroger store to help your own home find a home for waste. In addition, Kroger encourages use of reusable grocery bags. Have you seen the cloth bags that they sell at the checkout counter? And do you bring your own grocery bags from home? The list of activities that Kroger participates in to protect our environment are numerous, and these are just a handful that are visible to you and to me as customers. So between the Zero Waste Initiative, the energy conservation, the pill disposal, and the recycling campaigns, it's clear to me that Kroger cares about its customers and the environment that we live in. So, is Kroger good for the environment? I say yes.